This is not a test. This channel has interrupted its regular programming to provide disaster information not being readily reported. Important details will follow this tone.
Hey folks, Ira here. I hope you have had a great Monday. Thanks for tuning in for our report of odd events taking place around the world. For the record, today is March the 13th, 2017. A release by St. John's International Airport in Canada Sunday night stated the airport facilities received significant damage during the windstorm that affected the region during the last few days. An electrical component in the airport's terminal electrical room was damaged. That cut the electrical feed entering the terminal building, which is presently operating under backup emergency power provided by two emergency generators as well as reduced normal power. The airport authority is reviewing all options to have heat and key operational systems restored as soon as possible. In addition to the electrical feed, the airport sustained damage to two passenger loading bridges, 3 light poles in the parking lot, siding panels to the new building extension as well as existing terminal building, and 4 out of 230 approach lighting towers to the main runway. Despite the damages, the airfield is operating and flights are continuing. An update will be provided when more information is available. Several ducks found dead in Taiwan on Wednesday last week were infected with the highly pathogenic avian influenza virus subtype H5. The Centers for Disease Control confirmed yesterday, adding that the virus is being examined to identify if it is the H5N6 strain, which can infect humans. The ducks were found by passers-by, the Taipei Animal Protection Office said, adding that it notified the Animal Health Research Institute, which collected the dead birds and conducted tests on them. Preventive measures, such as washing and disinfection, were immediately taken within a 1.8-mile radius of the spot where the birds were found, and 2 poultry farms near the park were inspected, the office said, adding authorities yesterday increased the number of personnel patrolling the parks in the city. The Animal Protection Office urged people to avoid feeding or coming into contact with birds. The Center of Disease Control said that although the high-risk area in and around the park has been disinfected, people should not touch the soil and stay clear of the pond in the park, and thoroughly wash their hands with soap after visiting. The Taipei Department of Environmental Protection yesterday said people who feed wild birds and cause environmental pollution could face a fine of between $38 and $194 if they do not stop feeding the animals after an initial warning. At least 36 people in Tanzania have been infected with anthrax after eating the carcass of a cow, authorities revealed on Thursday. The infected people were rushed to hospital after showing symptoms consistent with anthrax infection. Some of the patients have already been discharged while others are still recovering in hospital. The disease was reported a few days ago when people first ate the carcass in question. He said the meat showed all the symptoms to suggest the cow had been infected by anthrax before it died, passing it on to the people who ate it. That's why it is important for people to eat meat which have been approved by the responsible authorities, he said. Tanzania has been struggling with an anthrax outbreak since early last year, although authorities were confident the spread was under control by November. This latest infection shows how tricky the disease is to contain once an outbreak occurs. Normally, humans are infected by handling infected animal goods, but the disease can also be contaminated by eating infected meat or simply breathing in spores of the bacteria. Last April, an outbreak killed 1 person and infected many others. Symptoms include swollen eyes, lesions all over the body, excessive bleeding, rashes and high temperatures. The fatality rate from consuming infected meat can be as high as 60%, depending on how quickly treatment begins. Finally, Locals in Nepal have become terrified after rabid wild rats started attacking villagers and domestic animals in several villages. Rabies-infected wild rats have bitten dozens of domestic animals and have recently died. Meanwhile, officials have started administering anti-rabies vaccines on domestic animals free of cost. Thank you for tuning in. If you found this to be interesting, please like, share, and subscribe. While at it, post your thoughts on this and whatever else is on your mind below. If you like the social media thing, you can link to us via the standard allotted social sites in the description. Have a great day, guys. Stay safe.
This concludes this report of the emergency alert system. All normal programming operations may now resume.